people. My name is Sarah. I am the artist and maker behind Denim Rain. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, I'm in kind of like a different angle today because, well, I live in the Pacific Northwest and it is gray from here into eternity. It is so dark and gross, like every day, getting so over it. We had a week where I looked ahead and there was like a week solid of sun. I was like, yes, yes, sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. And then it was cloudy. We had a stagnant air warning and the entire week was covered in fog. So we didn't get that week of sunshine. We got, I think, a day or two of sun that was like patchy in and out of clouds. So we are recording today with a light and I'm facing a window and I don't like the background as much, but who cares? Who cares? We're not here for the background. We're here for the yarn and the art and all the goodies. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so my first finished object I no longer have. I finished the Seal Drip Mittens by Skein Deer Knits for my mother, and those have already been given to her, so I've got a photo on the screen for you so you can see those beautiful mittens completely finished. I love them. I think they're beautiful. I'm probably not going to be knitting a pair of those again for quite a while because they're a lot of work. Figures, the moment I start recording, the batteries die. But anyways, they were a lot of work. Definitely a labor of love. I think they turned out beautiful. I was a little stressed with the second mitten because I couldn't remember because I knit them like a month apart. The first mitten, I have my gauge off of it, but my gauge wasn't matching on my second mitten, and like it was a little bit tighter. But I was like, I already blocked the first mitten. So I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that this second mitten grows to match the first mitten. And thankfully it did. It grew and they were the same size. The first mitten, by the time my mother got it, was a little floofy because my 2-year-old, Lincoln, loved that mitten. He was constantly playing with it, and every time I would take it out to reference it or something, next thing you know, it's gone and he's got it on his hand running around the house with it. So it kind of got fluffy from him playing with it a lot, and the other mitten, even after blocking, it wasn't nearly as fluffy as the first one. So to explain this to my mother, like, the first one is fluffy because, well, my toddler loved it. And I did ask him, would you like mommy to knit you some mittens? And he got so excited. So I will in the near future have to cast on a pair of toddler mittens. Not color work. They will be a solid color. They will be a solid color. All right, and then for other finished objects, I have a pair of socks. Da 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 da. So this is a pattern that I have made. I have not written it yet, or even, I haven't written it yet. But this is going to be the little Sebastian socks. So the texture on the front here is the same texture that is on my Malway Tweed sweater, which of course is a Parks and Rec reference. So because it used the same texture, I decided to also have these socks have a Parks and Rec reference, which is Little Sebastian, because of the floofiness. Like, this little floofy cuff matches, the floof on that adorable little miniature horse, who kind of looks like the miniature horse I used to own a long time ago. Kind of like the same color and stuff. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about horses. We're talking about adorable knitted socks. So this top yarn is knit out of Loops and Threads, which is a Michaels brand yarn. And I believe it is called Cozy Tweed Wool. I believe. I don't have the ball band with me, of course. And I believe, also don't have the ball band, this color is Cinnamon. And then the rest of the sock is knit out of Lion brand Wool Ease in the color Natural Heather, which is currently my favorite color of theirs. But you can see it's got a fabulous little mock cable that runs down the front, and then it has an eye of partridge, I think is the slip stitch here that I did. Heel flap. So yeah, I am in love with this. This is a double thick cuff. I wanted to be able to roll it down and have that look. I hated knitting it. It was a nightmare. It was so long, so many 1x1 rib stitches. I hate ribbing. I don't know. Like, there are so many sweaters out there that are beautiful that are ribbing, and I'm like, yeah, I won't knit that because I will hate my life knitting it. And I like to enjoy the process of knitting. Though I like the end product and how it looks, I don't want to suffer through it. So yeah, it's got a rolled cuff, beautiful texture on the front, pattern coming who knows when. But I knit these on 3.5mm, which is usually what I knit my worsted and DK socks at. So yeah. I'm in love with them and cannot wait to wear them. I have not worn them because I wanted to first show them here for, you know, didn't want to get them all gross and stuff. And I also need to take photos of them. So if and when I do release a pattern, I have nice photos of them. So yay, little Sebastian socks. All right, so my next finished object is kind of scaring me a little bit because the last finished object was a pair of socks. Well, I have here another pair of socks. And then I'm looking at a pile of whips, which contains a few pairs of socks. Guys, I'm afraid I'm becoming a sock knitter. I never thought in my life I would be a sock knitter, but here we are, guys. I have another pair of socks. And this pair is knit out of fingering weight yarn. Yes, you heard it, fingering weight. Not worsted, not DK, not super bulky. Oh no, fingering. And I finished them in less than a month. Did you hear me? Let me just say it again for you so you can fully understand what I'm saying. I knit a pair of fingering weight socks in less than a month. The last pair of fingering weight socks I knit took me a year. A year. And I'm going to show you another sock that has been on the needles for probably a year and a half. I don't know what is happening to me. But anyways, I finished another pair of Christmas socks. These are fingering weight. This is a base that I dyed back when I was dyeing yarn. It was, I think, called like Christmas, vintage Christmas postcard or something like that. It's a really nice variegated. It's like a plummy red with greens and golds. Yeah, really fabulous. And then I knit the cuff, heels, and toes out of Hobie yarn. It is a baby wool. It is a 100% superwash. Just a nice dark gray. Just a nice solid for, yeah, the heels, toes, and cuff. I knit my fingering weight socks on a 2.5mm, which I think is a US 1.5. And I do 64 stitches. I used to knit my socks on a US 2, which I believe is a 2 and 2.75mm needle. But my gauge has changed a touch, so it's weird that a 1/4mm can make that big of a difference, but it does. It does. So that's how I knit my socks. And then my vanilla socks, I put a little ridge down the back of the leg. It's like just 2 purl stitches in the back. Just a little, I don't know. I don't know why I do it. I just kind of like the look of it on the back. I think it's kind of fun to have something on it. And then, you know, it makes it hug it a touch. So yeah, there are the finished things. Now let's move on to what I have been working on. So let's start with this one. I haven't made very much progress on these. These are my daughter's socks that will not fit my daughter, that I'll probably gift to somebody else. These are a DK weight sock. This is to the Macks Yarn Unicat, and then PK yarns. I believe it's like green apple or something like that. Don't remember the name of the color, sorry. And then last time I showed you, I think just finished with the heel turn, the heel flap and heel turn on this one. And I think I've put like 4 rows on this sock since the last time you saw it. Sorry, the pink here is a mystery yarn. Don't know what it is. But yeah, after putting that first sock on her and such, I determined I'm going to finish them and gift them to somebody. Don't know who. I don't really know anybody who has a young girl who's smaller than my daughter at the moment. Sorry. You deal with yarn, you get yarn floof, I swear, every time. Get floofs up my nose. Floofs. Anyways, I promise I'm not crazy. I'm just tired. I didn't sleep very well last night. But anyways, I actually totally forgot about these socks. I stuck them in a basket in a corner and then completely forgot. I was digging for something else and found them and was like, oh yeah, I only put a few other rows on them. And so I need to pull them back out and finish them. But this is living in my Casiosa Crafts bunny bag. Love it. Super cute. Reminds me of Peter Rabbit, which I loved growing up. So there's that. The next sock is a sock I was telling you that I've been knitting on for 1.5 years. Let me put the first one, because I have a finished one. I'll put it on a blocker here for you. A lot of switching socks and stuff. So this is knit out of a BFL, Blueface Leicester, and nylon base. I do not remember the dyer, and of course I do not have the ball band anymore. The cuff and toe is knit out of my hand-dyed yarn. This was Pacific Coral. It's also on the toe. And then it's got a really fabulous texture running down the front and some ribbing down the front. So, don't let me... I started knitting on them again. I've only knit from that little progress keeper there. So I haven't put a whole lot of work on them, but I have pulled them back out of hibernation, back out of the basket that it's been hiding in, and have started working on them again. So gonna hopefully finish those in the near-ish future, maybe. I do a lot of like sock knitting on the weekends when we're going places because it's easy and portable to just grab a little bag and take it with me. This is a project bag that I made a while ago. So yeah, there are those, but that is not all in the way of socks. No, we have one more sock to show you. Yes, this is what I'm saying, people. I'm turning into a sock knitter. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. But I have started knitting another Christmas sock because the goal is to knit more Christmas socks because I really liked wearing Christmas themed socks in December. I had that one whole pair and I loved it so much, so I wanted more. I'm just going to put this kind of on here so you can see. But this is another fingering weight sock. I am knitting this out of oak and fiber. I do not remember the colorway name. I do know this is her merino cashmere nylon base. It is a sock set that she did for Christmas. I love the color that she did the contrast in. It is like, it's not quite burgundy. It's like a brownish, like mauve-y type red, and I love that. I just love it so much because I don't like red. But I did a 1x1 for the cuff, and then I am doing a 3x1 for the body of the sock. I'll do the whole leg and that, and then the top of the foot in the 3x1. And I'm aiming to do a nice long leg on that one. I didn't do a very long leg on this one. It's a pretty short one. I typically like my long socks, like my tall socks that aren't like ankle for shoes. Like, I like them to have a long leg because I like to wear them on the outside of leggings or sweatpants or whatever. So I like them to be nice and cozy on my leg. So I want these ones to be a bit longer. The other pair, I didn't even use a full 50 grams, which I was surprised by. So I know this set, because I'm going to do the longer leg, I should end up using more. But I forgot to just point this out. This cute little stitch marker. Oh my gosh, it's an adorable little mug. This is from Market. Of course, all the shops of yarn and markers and bags and such will be down below, like always. So that's it for socks. Time for a break. Get a drink because I haven't talked this much all day and it's a lot of talking, so I need to sip real quick. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mug that my sister made. She is Pennington Designs. She makes the most amazing pottery. I mean, look at the colors on this one. It's like all these cool drippies down into this gorgeous green, which I'm obsessed with. And it seems like the whole world is obsessed with right now, this gorgeous mossy sage green. So, go check her out. I do believe she's just going to be having a restock soon. But I'll make sure to link her website down below. Another thing I did, I couldn't find the ones I actually finished, so I just grabbed a couple. But I did make, I think, 4 new granny squares. I do know I finished a gold one and a green one. Don't know if these are the actual ones I finished. And then I did a couple of other ones that have gone into the bowl. And I like put them in a rainbow swirly, and it's pretty, but I failed to pull the ones that I was working on out. Oops. Oh well. But another long-standing project that I put some time on was my blanket. So the last time I showed it, I was down at that blue Progress Keeper. So I've put a decent amount of work on it. I pulled it out because my sister asked me to teach her how to, technically reteach her. She's knit in the past. She used to knit washcloths and stuff like that. So I kind of retaught her how to knit so she could make herself a blanket. So I pulled my blanket out so I could show her how to do the knit stitches. Hers is stockinette, the blanket she's working on, with like a garter stitch border on it. So I pulled this out so I could show her how to do it, and then also to kind of measure to figure out how many to cast on for her. So yeah, I put some progress on it, feeling good about it, want to keep working on it so I can maybe have this for summer, because it's a really nice light stretchy cotton blanket, and no matter what season is, I like to have blankets just across my lap. Even if it's hot out, I just still like to have something on me. It's like a security thing. But this cotton I'm knitting it out of is, I think it's called Mainstays or Homestays. It's Walmart's brand. It's a very cheap, I shouldn't say cheap, it's a very affordable cotton yarn. And it's very soft. It's very nice. I'm very happy with it. I like the taupey sand color. It will go with whatever I put my decor as at any point in time. So yeah, put a little bit of work on that. So I'm happy to be pulling it out and working on it again. Hey, now I have a sweater to show you. I mean, technically I've already showed this to you, but I'm going to like last time I showed it to you. But we have made progress. This is the, what is happening there? Whoa. I hope you can hear that. My stomach just grumbled very loudly. I have I'm holding 2 strands double. It looks like I dropped like one of the strands there. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. Anyways, this is the Home V-neck sweater by Kadri. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy with it. I have finished the body and am now working on the hem. I have finished the back side of the split hem probably a couple of days ago, but I need to do a tubular bind off because I like the way it looks, especially for like a split hem. I haven't I hate doing the tubular bind off. I hate stitching. I hate having to use needles. I don't know why it makes that big of a difference, but it does. I hate it. So I have to do that. So it's been kind of put aside for the weekend. But I'm really loving the way it looks. I put it on to test the length and stuff, and I really love the way it looks. And I don't even have the collar, the V-neck put on yet. But yeah, I've made the back part longer than the pattern says. I think by maybe a ½ inch or an inch. And then I'm going to have the front side shorter. Just because I like the back a touch longer. And then the front, I don't mind if it's a little shorter because I usually tuck my shirts in the front. So yeah, and then of course I still have the sleeves to do. But I am knitting this out of Kinetic Knitter, dried flowers, and holding it double with Hobie's Metallico yarn. I don't remember the name of the color, but it's like the taupey beige color with the gold center. So yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I just need to do that bind off so I can then do the front and then just start working on sleeves. I don't mind working on the sleeves, so I kind of want to get to the sleeves because sleeves go pretty fast for me. I don't get onto Sleeve Island. I get on Body Island. I hate knitting bodies. Should do like a trade with somebody. Like, here, you knit my body, I'll knit your sleeves. Because I hate knitting bodies. So annoying. So yeah, made it through that. I just need to do the rest of the hem so I can get onto the sleeves and have another sweater. Would like to have it finished maybe by the next time I record. Maybe I'll make it a goal to have that happen. But let me show you what else I cast on. Oh boy, guys, here we go. Okay, so I cast this on Saturday. Saturday? Yes, on Saturday. And I have a whole 2 days worth of knitting on this. This thing has flown. So this is just a raglan type sweater that I am working on. It has a beautiful folded collar. I'm knitting this out of Lion Brand Woolies, the Natural Heather. Told you I'm a big fan of this color at the moment. And then after the collar, I'm holding it double with that same loops and threads yarn, the cozy tweed wool. But it's just a different color. I don't know the name of the color. Sorry. But I'm holding them double. I have to frog it. Dramatic? Maybe. But I have to frog it. Why do I have to frog it? Well, I finished the yoke, split for the sleeves, tried it on. As you do. Because it would be dumb not to, and then get through the body and then realize, and now I have to frog it. So the collar is knit on a needle size that's like 2 or 3 sizes smaller than here. And then of course we go up to from a worsted weight to a bulky weight yarn because of these two being held double. So we change yarn weight and needle size after the collar. I didn't, and I should have decreased some stitches on the collar when I changed needle size and yarn weight. I didn't. So what is happening is I'm having like buckling and like weird bubbling, like kind of like if you see how this sweater I have on, it kind of bubbles, but it's not an aesthetically pleasing bubble. It's like a bulge. It's not cute. Also, the needle size I'm using for this is a 6.5 millimeter, and I need to go up a needle size probably to an 8 millimeter because the fabric is just too stiff because it's knit at too tight a gauge. And I don't like it when garments are stiff. Like there's a time and a place for a nice structured garment, but for a sweatshirt type sweater, that's not where I want structure. So I'm going to frog it back to the collar. And then once I get to the collar, I'm going to pick up again. And then I'm going to, once I start knitting this, I'm going to make a couple of decreases around. and that should take away the extra like rippling, and then having it on an even larger needle size will help it to lay and relax and be chill because it won't be so tight. So that's what I'm aiming to try. I still really want this sweater, and I want it to be sweatshirty, and I want it to be big and chunky, but it can't. It needs some adjustments. I'm making this up as I go, and I've never done where I've changed yarn weight like to this extreme. Like I've gone like in a pattern like a DK and a worsted, and I've worked them together, or a sport and a fingering, and I've worked them together. But this is like a big change. So we're gonna play around with that. So I'm gonna frog it. I was gonna frog it yesterday, but then I kind of wanted to show you guys. So I am gonna frog it later today, and then I'm just gonna put that on hold for a minute so I can finish that home sweater. At least get the hem done and get started on the sleeves, and then I'll recast this on or pick back up at the collar and get going on that. But I really love how this looks, like the yarn marling. It's so pretty, so pretty. I love it. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's all I have for knitting. Real quick, I'll show you what I've been painting. I haven't done a ton of painting. I got a floof stuck to my nails too. What the heck? Like I said, floof everywhere. So I've done a couple of paintings since last time. One of them I'm not a huge fan of. This one. I'm still learning this paint. It doesn't quite do what I'm used to watercolors doing and acrylics doing, so it's a little bit different. So I'm just playing around with the medium. It's still cool, but not my favorite. It's also because it's purple. I don't like purple. And then I have this little guy right next to it, which I think is really fun. I like that one a lot more. And then I have these two. I have a hydrangea painting with all the different colors of hydrangeas. I really love hydrangeas. So yeah. And then this morning, wow, it's really blown out on the screen. At least I hope it's not as blown out as it's showing me. But a nice morning scene. I did all those itty bitty leaves, which are actually a lot of fun to paint. And then some cute little flowers, and yeah, pretty sunrise. So that's all I've painted. Actually, lie, that's not true. I painted something else too, but I can't share it with you because I'm not ready to share it yet, because it's something for the shop that I'll turn into stickers and prints, and it's going to be fabulous, and I'm in love with it. So thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me and seeing what I've been knitting on. News: I'm going to be starting a knitting vlog style video series. So at the end of each month, I am going to upload a video that shares what I was doing in the process of knitting. So like that sweater I showed you that I'm going to be frogging. When I started knitting it, I was talking through my process, and then when I was trying it on, I was kind of talking through it. I'm going to be doing that with like a lot of my projects throughout the month, and then I'll upload it at the end. So yeah, and then let me know if there's any other types of videos you guys would love to see, and then let me know what you've been working on. I love it when you guys tell me the projects you are making. So I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.